This is now the third year in a row that I've tested a Sargo, or a Minor as it used to be before the Southampton boat show, and I always look forward to it because despite their flying potting shed looks, they're always great fun to drive, and I don't expect this 31 to be any different. This particular boat has got a single Volvo Penta D6 400 horsepower engine, should be good for well over 30 knots, and in fact they've fitted one boat in Lymington with a pair of 300 horsepower D4s, and that's doing 45 knots. What a sight that'll be going along. Let's jump on and have a bit of a closer look. If you've been on one of Sargo's boats before, then the layout will be pretty familiar. You've got this wheelhouse, and it's the fulcrum of everything. This is where your dinette is, this is where your helm station is, it's where your galley is, it's where everything is. This one though, you've got sliding doors either side, which make life very easy to get through the boat, round the boat, talk to people, ventilate. There's this sunroof, which is manual, standard. It's optional to have the glass inside, but I would do because it makes a big difference to the feeling of light in here. And the boat is so practically designed, and it looks great. Real solid wood here. This is actually the walnut option. Nice wooden handholds built in. Everything is very tactile, typically Scandinavian, and something that Sargo does very well at the helm stations. We'll talk a bit more about that later when we get onto the driving experience. Layout wise, forward down here, there's a double cabin. It's a bit tight in this area here, this little hallway where you have the heads as well, and there's some storage down to port. You're not going to have two people down there, but actually once you're in the cabin, the room is pretty good. And then something that's a bit of a surprise on board this boat is the fact that there is a double cabin aft here, down this little hatch. Let's have a look. So once you've squeezed yourself down through the hatch, which is pretty tight, it actually opens up amazingly well down here. I mean, it's sitting room only really, and there's some obstructions over the bed, but the size of the bed is perfectly good, certainly long and wide enough for a couple of adults to sleep, no problem. You've got a bit of storage behind me here, and also opposite, and because they've got a couple of vertical ports opposite me here, it's actually brighter down here than you expect it to be, especially with the hatch open, and you could easily spend a weekend comfortably on board in this cabin. Two things that make the Sargos so fun to drive. First of all, it's the drivetrain setup. Stern drives, big single diesel. She's very agile, turns really beautifully, very, very smooth. Little bit of cavitation if you really go into the corner very hard and open the tap, so it pays to be a little bit smoother with the feeding of the power. But honestly, out for the photo shoot, she was running rings around. It was really, really enjoyable, and it's something that every Sargo I've tested seems to do very well. The other thing is the helm position. It's a real lesson in ergonomics. This steering wheel, for example, with this comes as standard, the turning knob doesn't seem like much, but with a single stern drive it makes her so easy to handle it at slow speed. You can turn the leg from side to side very quickly. Then there's details like the entire section here comes right into your lap, which I really, really like. Everything then is right where you need it to be, front and centre. I'm nice and close in the seat. I sat like this the entire time during the photo shoot, didn't feel the need to move at all. The only time that wasn't the case was hard turns to port. Because of this cabinetry up here, it does make it hard to see out to port. Another reason to have the glass in the roof, because I actually found myself looking out through the roof when we were turning really hard. But view to starboard is absolutely superb, and you do have everything really falls to hand. You feel very sort of plugged into the boat, which is what I really like. So there's a very quick insight into the Sargo 31. Still a cracking boat to drive, really, really enjoyable, well worth a sea trial. And it may not have the best accommodation for a boat of this size, it may not be the best looking boat of this size, but what it does allow you to do is use it all year round, as this owner who took delivery in May has shown by putting 150 hours on the clock already. It is £240,000, which is quite a lot, of course, for a boat of this size, but then you do feel that in the way it's put together, the attention to detail and the quality. You can read the magazine report in the November 2015 issue.